Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and it's over. The Blackhawks have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. Nashville beat the Columbus Blue Jackets in overtime tonight. The Blackhawks lost in regulation. Therefore, they are done. Well, not done. They still have 4 games to play, but the 4 games left are for nothing other than playing and getting guys ice time and trying out things. It was very fitting that the game that the Blackhawks were playing while they were eliminated was a very pathetic game overall. They lost to the Carolina Hurricanes 5-2. The 5th goal came on an empty netter. It was also the goal that gave Sebastian the hat trick, so, you know, funsies all around, right? After allowing 4 goals on 18 shots, Malcolm Subban was pulled. Collin Delia was the backup tonight, so he got to play half of the game for the first time since January. He saw some time with the Rockford Ice Hogs in between, but he had not seen NHL action since January, and he stopped 19 of 19 shots, and he looked very good doing it. Because goaltenders. That being said, though, it really doesn't make sense why Delia hasn't gotten a shot up until this point. I mentioned in the last video how Kevin Lankinen and Malcolm Subban have both played out of their minds at different times during the season, but there have also been stretches where they looked very human and very average, and that's what you would expect. But there were stretches when both goaltenders were going through their average gameplay at the same time, so it didn't make sense why Collin Delia was still not seeing any game action when he wouldn't have been any worse than the 2 guys that were playing. And all the quotes we were hearing from the team and Jeremy Colleton and whatnot, it didn't seem like they ever even thought about putting Collin Delia in the net, which is I don't understand it. I get that it's typical to run a starting goaltender and a backup goaltender, and unless one of them gets injured, you just run with the 2 goaltenders until the end of the season, and that's that. But this year they had 3 goaltenders and 3 capable goaltenders, and they only used 2 of them until now when the season doesn't matter because they've been eliminated. Now they decide to give Delia a shot. I don't know. It's not something that's made me super upset throughout the season. I mean, you kind of get used to the 3 goalie rotation watching the AHL a lot. I hate it. I've always hated it. I prefer just the 1 starter, 1 backup. Sometimes they flip-flop those roles, but you just have the 2 guys that you run with. When you insert the 3rd goaltender in there, it messes up the rotation. It makes everything confusing. 1 or 2 guys don't get to play as much as they would like, as much as would make sense. I don't like it. But Collin Delia came in relief tonight. He played half the game, like I said, stopped 19 of 19 shots, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the net tomorrow night against the Hurricanes as well. I mean, he's plenty rested, right? But we shall see. Colleton did not commit to his starting goaltender for tomorrow, but I really would not be surprised if it was Delia back in net. Aside from the goaltending, the Blackhawks did get those 2 goals. One of them was from Ian Mitchell. It was set up by a beautiful pass from Dylan Strome. The puck was bouncing a bit, but Mitchell just blasted it past Alex Nedeljkovic. It was a great goal. You could tell the kid was happy. That had to be a confidence booster. After playing over the first half of the season with the Hawks and then just randomly being sent down to Rockford, now he comes back up, he gets another goal. You gotta feel happy for him. I'm sure he's really happy tonight, even though they lost. But when you're out of playoff contention, the wins and the losses really don't matter all that much. I know they are competitive guys, they are hockey players, they want to win every game, but you take the little victories where you can get them, and scoring a goal in the NHL as a rookie defenseman, that is a small victory that you can be happy about. The 2nd Blackhawks goal, coming from Alex DeBrincat, was set up by a beautiful pass from Dominik Kubalik. Both Blackhawks goals tonight were set up by very nifty passes, but after that pass from Kubalik, the effort was all DeBrincat's. He cut into the offensive zone down the left wing, cut in front of the goaltender, and just sniped it right past him like it was no big deal. Why can't they just do that more often? But that's what you always ask when your team scores goals, right? Why can't they just do that more? They did it perfectly fine right there. It looked super easy. Why can't they just do that? Well, every guy on the ice is a professional hockey player, that's why. But it sure would be nice to get some more goals. And of course, getting more goals certainly would have been great tonight, but in a game that the Blackhawks were having a hell of a time just getting shots on net, it's not a big surprise that they only left with 2. These shots on goal were 38-17. That, my friends, is bad. With the games not meaning anything really going forward, I don't have 3 separate questions, but I will reiterate the 3 points that I will be watching for in these final 4 games now. As highlighted in the last video, if you haven't seen that, go give that a watch as well. The first thing being, what is the compete level in these remaining games tonight? It wasn't great. They picked it up a little at the end, but it was too little, too late, and of course, they walked away losing 5-2. The second thing I am watching for is which of the young guys stand out, and are they being given bigger roles now that they are officially eliminated from playoff contention? The wins and the losses really don't matter anymore. Ian Mitchell got that goal tonight. That was a great thing to see. Dominik Kubalik had 2 assists. Alex DeBrincat had the goal. These are all pretty young guys, even though DeBrincat's been around for a few years now. So again, we have to be happy seeing them get on the board. And when it came down to the final 2.5 minutes of the game, I had put on Twitter that what would make the most sense for the Blackhawks right then was to just play the young guys, because they had a better chance of doing anything at that point than playing the vets. I don't know if you've also noticed this, but every time the camera pans to Patrick Kane, he just looks plain miserable. Like he would rather be absolutely anywhere else than on the ice. He did have a few good plays tonight, but overall it was a pretty nothing game from number 88. Again. And this time he didn't just magically get on the score sheet like he usually does. So I feel like in these last 4 games, we will probably see good games from the young guys, but they are going to be incredibly frustrating games because I don't think we're going to see a lot from number 88, but that's kind of par for the course these last few weeks here. Or few months, but I'll be nice and say the last few weeks. And the third and final thing I am keeping an eye on in these final games is the special teams. In tonight's game against Carolina, the Blackhawks went 0 for 3 on the power play, but they did kill off 2 of their 3 penalties. So that's kind of just along the lines of how their special teams have been trending. Their power play is just severely plummeting. They just drove that thing right off of a cliff. And their penalty kill is doing okay. Defense is very important, so it is good to see a good penalty kill, but offense is also important. And for a team who just hasn't had a good power play for an extended period of time in the last decade or so, it would be really nice to see them finally turn that around. They've been through so many different players, they've been through 2 coaches now, 2 head coaches, and the power play just doesn't change. I know a lot of people say that has to do with Patrick Kane, but I already ragged on him a few seconds ago, so I will just leave that up to you and what you think is going wrong on the power play. So that's how tonight's game went. You can't even be mad. You knew that they weren't going to make the playoffs. The loss doesn't matter. It's just looking for the little things now, things that you can take into next season, things that you can build off of as a team, things that the young guys are doing, because that is the most exciting at this point, and hopefully Collin Delia gets the friggin' start tomorrow. I mean, what does the guy have to do, right? But I am still very interested in what you have to say about this season. Which guys have really impressed you? Which guys have disappointed you, if we go as far as to use that word? What have you liked? What have you not liked about the 2020-2021 Chicago Blackhawks? There is a lot to choose from. You don't have to give me all of them. If you want to, I'll read it. If you don't want to, give me a few things. But either way, leave those all in the comments down below. If you want to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. You can find links to all of the places where you can find us. And if you are more of a social media person, you can find links to all of those platforms down in the description. We are recording a new podcast episode on Thursday, so you can keep your eyes open for that. All of that being said, the regular season is almost over. We are almost done with Blackhawks hockey until next fall. At least hockey on the ice. There will be plenty of news that comes out over the summer with the draft and trades and signings, and oh my goodness, it'll probably get crazy. But we only have 4 games left, so if you want to hold on to this season and not let it go, cherish these last 4 games. If you want this season to be over, maybe find something better to do on those nights. I sure wouldn't blame you. But thank you for tuning into this madness. Thank you for following along with me throughout the season. If you are new, welcome. If you've been here for a while, thanks for sticking with me. Let's see how these last 4 games go, and I will catch you all after the next one. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or two. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!